Ooh, had a little bit of a hiccup there, of course. Hold on a second. Here we go. Whew. Good morning, everybody. I have a question for you. I guess it's more of a riddle. What do you do when you're watching with it, when you're about to launch your stream and your 5-month-old gets up from a nap? Literally happened at 10:59. So I grabbed him really quick. He's sitting in his chair, off to the side here, just kind of looking at me. He's still a little tired. That's okay because he's not crying. So I think we're good. I'm just checking on him. Okay. Shut his camera off. There we go. So let's see who's here. Brian, good morning. Madam, main event, of course. How are you, sir? Master, good morning to you as well. Let me ask you, so now if Master and Madam are on both channels at the same time, is it like Madam's on twice? Zach, good morning. White Wolf, good morning to you, sir. Main event, I do have an idea for you. If you ever want to do a wrestling match with Chad, by all means, you have my blessings. I have to say, I'm shocked that many people liked that video. I almost didn't put it up, and Brian could back this up. I finished it, and it was so cringy when I edited it. I was like, I don't know if I could put this up. It'd be almost like I'm making fun of the whole thing. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release it. And I messaged Brian really quick, like, hey, look, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. And Brian just gave me like a thumbs up. So it's like, okay. So I'm happy people enjoyed it. I hate Chad. I really do. Matt is in charge. There's only one madam, but she gets 2 votes. Chad in round 3. Yeah, go for it. So I had kind of a slower week as far as buying goes. I didn't get to the LCS like I thought I would. No hashtag Chad, please. He was just so cringy. I've even tried to watch it again afterwards, just a couple times, just because like even my wife liked it, and even that's when I cut out the dick joke. Morning, Trev. And it was funny actually. When my friend Nick, who's in the video, he's the guy with the LSU jersey at the beginning. He called me. He's like, "Oh my god, I had such a good time with this." No, don't vote for Chad. I had such a good time with this, and I said, "I really hate this character." And he's like, yeah, "But that's what's so great. It's so cringy." And I didn't know if I really kind of nailed the concept I was going for. I was trying to do exactly main event, yeah. I was trying to do like a fake infomercial type of thing using the awards as like an imaginary product almost. And yeah, that's what I was kind of shooting for. It's kind of weird. I actually looked on YouTube just to get a feel for what an infomercial is like now, because I couldn't tell you the last time I sat through an infomercial. And I didn't know there were so many like strange products that I didn't know existed. Have you guys ever heard of something called, I'm going to pronounce it, try my best to pronounce it, and then I'm going to spell it out, called Titty Bears, Tiddy? I had never seen this product. I didn't know it existed. And if you're unfamiliar like I was, it's basically, oops, sorry about that. It's basically a teddy bear that fits onto a seatbelt, and like, yeah, it's a seatbelt thing. Yeah. I didn't even know this was a problem. I asked my wife, "Hey, is this an actual issue? Is this a problem that women have?" She's like, "I haven't run into that." So I don't know. And then, but the weird part is, it's like, if my Roku remote is the bear and this is the front of the bear, it like rests like right there. And then it was like, oh yeah, even men can use titty bears. Yeah, and they're showing like these old guys with these bears. Like, no, maybe could is one thing. Should might be another. I don't know. Kind of like in Jurassic Park, you probably, you were too busy worrying about should you do something that you didn't, that you could do something that you didn't think you should. Uh, Hold on one second. There we go. So a little issue here. My wife has a thing on her seatbelt. Yeah, that's basically this what the product is, Neil. I didn't know that this was a problem, and I didn't know that this solution even existed. So go figure. Then there was something else. This has got to be a woman. I'm thinking from the early 2000s, maybe before everybody like could look up recipes and whatnot online. There was there's a woman who I think was just trying to poison everybody. She had done a couple of looks like recipe books, and these were infomercials for recipe books, which just seems weird to me. The first one was for like dump cakes and dump foods, which as delicious as they may look, I don't know. I can't eat something when somebody says, "Oh yeah, you like this? It's a dump food or it's a dump cake." Exactly, master. Exactly. It's TIDDY, which I, I didn't even know DDY is a word. I don't know, crap people buy. Anyway, the same woman with all the dump cake recipes and whatnot, she did this other thing where basically you could make anything out of ramen, and she was showing, oh yeah, look, I made a casserole out of ramen. Oh look, here's grandma's ramen apple pie cake, and I'm like, is she just trying to poison people? Really? Like, I mean, ramen is ramen. It was always my thought that ramen wasn't something that you eat because you wanted to. It's maybe something because you had to. I think the last time I had ramen, I was in college, and it was like because yeah, you can buy 100 of them for $1 or something. I think the seatbelt can actually cut your boob off in an accident. Never seen it, but I did hear about it. I don't know. I think a teddy bear is a weird solution though for a issue with a boob. Couple comics, how are you, sir? We're talking about titty bears, TIDDY. But let's go into comics, I guess. So, like I said, I didn't pick up many books this week. I didn't get to the LCS. I have two things that came to me by mail I didn't open up yet. And I do have something else that came by mail. This was actually from my Reggie's Soldier Supply box. And yeah, it's a solution for problem that doesn't exist. Yeah. I like the Soldier Supply box. You get a lot of nice different supplies, the clear bags and boards, the little shelves that you can use to display your comics if you want. My wife takes them and uses them to display her dishes. These like clear labels and everything. And you usually get like a pretty good art print, which this one, I did like the print on it. This was very cool, a She-Hulk print. Elena Morton is the artist. I'm not familiar with her, but that's very cool. I'm getting a little bit of a print collection from getting these. The pickups themselves, to be honest with you, and I support Reggie. I love his channel. I get the Soldier Supply boxes I'm going to get next month. I didn't like the comics in this month's. And look, they're okay. It's just something that I don't collect. Do they have titty bears at Build-A-Bear? Main event, I don't know, but I think that immediately following the stream, we should find out if Titty Bears still has a a patent or something out for it, or if that expired. And if not, I think we should sell that to Build-A-Bear because there you go. So anyway, the comics that came in this, again, like I said, they were okay. It's just not things I follow. Maybe it's something I might give away at some point. We've got Lobo, number 4. which, to be honest with you, I've been meaning to read up on some Lobo. It's just it's number 4, so then I have to hunt down 1 through 3. I don't know if it's a common book or whatnot. The art on it is really cool. It looks familiar, but I don't know whose initials those are. B-I-Z. It's Neil. It's with a D. Very important very important difference there. And written by Alan Grant, who just passed, I think, yesterday. Yeah, it is a great cover. I just, like I said, now I have to go and get the other 3. I hate this place, number 1. I have the other version, the 1B, with the cuss word on it, because why not? I thought the story was just okay. It just wasn't for me. Yeah, if you want to hate this place, I'll send that to you. And then we have Outsiders, number 8. I don't really go too deep with Outsiders. I've tried to go back and get into Outsiders a couple times. It just never clicked for me. This one might be a little bit promising. It's from 04. Judd Winnick, yeah, that was the guy that was on Real World, did the writing. Tom Rainey did the art. I love Tom Rainey. He actually frequents my LCS, and I got to meet him recently too. Very nice guy. Like I said, I wasn't like overly impressed with these pulls here, but you know, I'll get the next box, and you know, hopefully that'll bounce back. Before I go into the news topic, why don't I start by showing you what I read this week. I did a lot of reading, I'll say that. In fact, I even took notes because I was that bored. I'm probably the last person to talk about this book, but here you've got The Closet. I'm usually not one for horror books. You okay, buddy? He's good. But I was really impressed by this. It was very awesome, very creepy. Tynion, I think, really does an excellent job at setting up this story. I think it's a 3-part story. And yeah, note-taking, see? Cheat sheets. It's just like when, what was the guy named? Mike Seaver on, was it Growing Pains? Yeah, wrote all the test answers on his sneakers. Yes, I'm that old. Yeah, here's the problem with note-taking, though, madam. I'll say this. I have terrible, terrible penmanship. Oh. Here we go. Yes, Chad messed up my microphone. As I was saying, I have terrible penmanship, so sometimes that gives me a problem deciphering what I wrote. But I do want to pick up at least the next 2 issues, and yeah, definitely see where it goes. But like I said, very creepy. I enjoyed that one a whole lot. This was a nice surprise. Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty #1. You know, true talk, I only bought this for the cover. But the thing is if I buy a comic, even just for the cover, I'm going to read it and at least give it a go. And you'll find that in a couple instances here. But this was really a wonderful surprise. By the way, on this cover, I don't know if they meant to, but they do repeat some words on these. If you look closer, it's kind of weird. They tried to fit in. At first, I thought it was just characters associated with Captain America, but they kind of fit in then some writers and some artists and just things that are really, I mean, more connected to the Avengers. Like, here you go. Like Thanos is here, or Thanos. I think of him more as an Avengers villain, not just a Captain America villain. And then you throw in just some people who he's friendly with, like Iron Man is here. They do repeat some of them in here as well, but all in all, I thought it was a really greatly done cover. The story itself, though, yes, Chad is getting a teddy bear army. Wonderful, wonderful surprise. It kind of reminded me of the Epting run, Stephen Epting run from a few years back. You know, it was like around Winter Soldier and whatnot. the artwork in that, rather. The story itself, though, does also remind me of Brubaker. So it's kind of like, I think, at least a harken back to that series. Neil, I might jump on later. I'm just with my kid here, so if he falls asleep, I might jump back on, but if he's awake, I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't let Chad babysit either. But yeah, this was an unexpected surprise. I kind of like the story with it. It almost feels like they're trying to build like a mystery based on his shield, like a national treasure, you know, those films, that type of mystery. But I definitely want to pick up at least the next issue. I used to collect Captain America pretty heavily. I stopped during the Remender run. I just didn't like the direction it went in and just never jumped back into it. I think I tried to pick up a couple more issues during like Secret Empire, but I haven't jumped in since. Teddy Bear and Chad for the best fit. There's an idea. This next one I didn't read because I had read the original one. This was X-Force 28, but this is just a cool cover. I did read the original X-Force 28. This is from the most recent run. This just came out like a month ago, and X-Force is a great book. Okay, the next was Moon Knight number 12. This was the Hellfire Gala variant. I haven't read Moon Knight in a while either. Zodiac is the villain. I thought he works as a great villain for him. GM just chimed in. Hey, Paul, how are you? Or Psychedelic, how are you? I think the last time I read him was it during Dark Reign. If Chad cooks breakfast, first of all, it's a little bit later. That would be brunch. Oh, for next week, I don't know that I would eat anything Chad makes. I'll have to take that one up with Brian and see if we could figure that out. I know you guys opened the door. It's Yoda kind of feels like I was thinking this morning. I could understand, not that I'm anywhere nearly this talented or this huge. It's almost like when what the hell's the guy's name? Andy Kaufman, when he was trying to do his tours and had people like just wanting to hear his character from Taxi. Yeah, it was a great Hellfire Gala cover, Trev. I agree with you. I almost called you Chad. And Brian, I do agree. I think Chad is a Hot Pocket type of guy. I think they make breakfast ones. I'm not quite sure. But the story, all in all, it's been a while since I checked out a Moon Knight comic. This is in the middle of the story, so I know that I'm not starting fresh. You know, there's going to be things that are lost to me. But all in all, I thought it was pretty good. The art is a different kind of feel to it. It's almost a little cartoony, a little, not abstract, but a little more expressive. I really like how they tied Tigra into the story. Now, I feel like she kind of falls into that category, like, whoop, hopefully I didn't hurt it here. Like a few Marvel characters where Marvel just doesn't really know what to do with it. Have you seen the Doom Hell? Yes. That one is a good cover main event. I am actually waiting because I had done a few orders from Unknown Comics, and I haven't received them yet. I've had issues with Unknown before, and I figured let me give them another shot. And I guess they call it Unknown because you don't know when they're sending them. But this one I bought, again, because of the cover. Somebody had mentioned Peach Momoco a little while back, and this was a Peach Momoco cover of the Mighty Thor. I had gotten off of Thor right after Jane Foster. I felt like was a good stepping off point. It's got a weird pace to it, to be honest with you. It definitely doesn't feel... You okay, buddy? He's good. It definitely doesn't feel like the original Jane Foster Thor series from a couple years ago. I really didn't like the pacing on it. The cover's great. Yes, I agree with that, Zach. But I don't know. This story just kind of fell flat for me. I felt like it was very muddled and strangely paced. No real kind of surprises with the story. This one I wouldn't really continue with, at least not in print. This one was a nice surprise. Another Peach Momoco cover. I tried to put my Momoco covers together. So there's a couple more, or at least one more here. Ghost Rider. I think this is, I want to say, number 12. First of all, really cool and really creepy cover. And it fits into the story nicely. This one is awesome. I have to say. I had read Ghost Rider through Jason Aaron's run and stopped after that. And I liked what Aaron had done, and then it felt like they were hitting the reset button a little too much when it went into the next volume. This one, you're following it. Seems like an elder Danny Ketch. I could be wrong on that one. Is it Danny Ketch or Blaze? I think it's Ketch. And it's almost like they're starting. He's in this town with like almost like an Americana type of. It's a nice homage of the lake, nice house on the lake. Is it? I didn't pick up on that. It's definitely reminiscent of that. You're good, buddy? But it's almost like they're trying to do a twist on like kind of tall tales you would hear from around the country. Works really cool. That one I might consider picking up regularly, at least reading digitally. Very cool. This next one was a big surprise as well. Iron Man and Hellcat Annual. I haven't read any Iron Man Hellcat. Iron Man I jumped off of, I don't even know how long ago. I think during Superior. So you're talking at least 5-6 years ago. Again, this is one I picked up. Peach is putting out some really good art right now. Yeah, and you know, Neil, the thing with Peach, I have to say, it's either I love it or I hate it. There's no in between. We need Iron Chad. No, we don't. We don't need Chad anything. I'll say this: Chad will come back maybe when the time is right. I can't give you too much Chad because I think that might just break my brain. But yeah, I mean, this was an awesome cover, and I have to say, a Hellcat-centric story that it seems to be picking up, I guess, after the events of the wedding or in between. Yeah, really cool kind of delve into her past. Really way to kind of tie everything together. Great story. I like because it's an annual. It's pretty self-contained, even though it connects to the other stories. Like I said, I hadn't read the other parts of the Iron Man and Hellcat series, so I kind of picked up on it seamlessly. And again, Hellcat's not somebody I know too much about, but I thought the way they fleshed out her very kind of weird background into one story worked really, really well. Chad hosting the CBC Awards, maybe that'd be pretty cool. She-Hulk #4. This is the Dodderman variant. I really like these multiple variants, multiple costume variants. Fun story. I've been following the new She-Hulk series. Actually, I've been following pretty much the last couple She-Hulk series since Dan Slott. This is a good mix, I would say, between the Slott series and the Sewell series. Sewell's was one where it kind of never, at least in my opinion, never got off the ground, where Slott's, he put a lot of work and energy into that. Bless you, buddy. More of which we're seeing today in the most recent Fantastic Four stories. But I thought this was still good. Again, this is not your typical kind of superhero story. It's very kind of fun. There is a nice tie-in, I guess, a superhero kind of event at the very end that they hook you into that next issue. But liking the series, and I do like this cover. I agree with you on that too, Maine. Okay. Black Panther #6. This is the AAPI Heritage cover. Got this because my wife and I are big fans of Ms. Marvel. The story itself, I had picked up prior copies of Black Panther. I forgot how many issues ago it was, but I think it was issue #2. I've talked about that here before. I think it's actually a very kind of intricate story. It reminded me of something more of like an espionage story. Like maybe you'd see like out of a Tom Clancy book. I don't have enough parts of the whole. No, he doesn't have a cold. He just has a lot of. He's just drooling a lot. Let me see. It's a lot of, like I was saying, Tom Clancy, kind of Winter Soldier. I don't have enough pieces of the entire story to rate the story in a whole. I'm just talking about the individual issue. I did like it. I think the action is very well paced, and the artist on this, who I'm not familiar with, and it's not on the cover, the fluid way that they draw the action, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jay Lee. Not so abstract, but it definitely has that kind of motion and vibrance to it. The only thing I had a complaint on is they bring Storm back into it, and that was when I should say this, and I know I've said this quite a bunch with this pack of books. I used to follow Black Panther up through the Reggie Hudlin run, and I think a little bit after. But one of my favorite parts of the more recent Black Panther storylines was the wedding that happened at this point during Civil War. And I was kind of not upset, but I was kind of disappointed, I should say, when we saw that wedding dissolve, when we saw that marriage dissolve. This is the first time, at least that I'm aware of, that they're addressing it. That being said, I don't like the way that the writer kind of wrote Storm into this. Storm is a great, strong character, and I feel like the strength in that they show right this Storm is kind of more like a false bravado. Doesn't really do much to help the character. I might check it out the next issue digitally, but like I said, I'm missing too many of the pieces to look at the whole story. The next two books, believe it or not, are not Marvel books. This is one that really surprised me. This was an AWA Aftershock title, The New Thing, art by Mike Deodato. I have to say, first of all, when I saw the cover, it kind of reminded me of the most recent, was it Primordials series from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. Sorry, I have to stop to keep fueling up. Yeah, it is a cool cover, madam, and the art in this is great. It's Mike Deodato, so you get your common Deodato. The story itself, I thought up until I put it into my CLZ that it was a one-part story, because the place where they kind of leave it, you think, oh, okay, it's over. But apparently there's going to be like 4 more parts to this. I'm not quite sure where they're going. It's an interesting story. It kind of reads more like a PSA. There's no singular character to kind of focus on, but it's an interesting kind of twist and kind of like a, if I had to put it a statement on, and I'm trying to put it in a vague term where I don't spoil it if you're planning to read it or if you want to grab it, maybe because of what I'm saying, but I want to give you some kind of reference. It's kind of like a PSA, and I would say almost like an essay on the dangers of screens and social media, but was very interesting. This one I actually want my wife to read. She's very not anti-technology, I should say, but very takes kind of an extreme kind of jump on it. Her brother's very tech savvy, and they have little kind of discussions back and forth about computers and whatnot. And I think that she's really going to like this. And to be honest with you, I saw that the writer on this, I think that's Greg Hurwitz. If I saw that before I picked up this issue, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because I did not like his, I think he had done like a Legends of the Dark Knight story a couple times, like a few years back. But this was really a quite nice surprise. Again, that's the New Think issue 1 or 1.0, if you want to follow it with the marketing. This is another one. This is from Aftershock. This was another surprise. I knew nothing about this. It just kind of sounded very cool. Astronaut Down. It's, to be honest with you, the art was a little cartoony, but it was done in a way where it was cartoony, but you almost didn't notice it was cartoony. Like when I say cartoony, I'm not talking about like your Scotty Young or something. It was probably a little bit closer to what I saw in the most recent Moon Knight that I showed off here, or maybe a little bit in the Black Panther as well. The story itself is pretty cool. Basically, there's a big disaster, and again, I'm trying to keep it as vague as I can, that the Earth is facing, and there's a pivotal moment where we can do one thing, or we could do one thing that'll most likely help us, or one thing that probably will hurt us, and we do the one thing that'll probably hurt us. And it's kind of, I guess one could say it's a parable for what we're seeing now with COVID and whatnot, in my opinion at least. But just very excellently done, and I'm very interested in picking up the next parts of this. This is, again, Astronaut Down. Yeah, it's a great cover too. One thing that they do in this, I have to say, that's very, very cool. You have your main story, then at the end, there's like a series of emails that you see between one of the characters in the story and her higher ups, kind of like before and at the beginning of this disaster going on. And it's great how they kind of locked it in, like, because it doesn't say, hey, this is the character from this. I wound up actually reading the story, reading the emails, and then going back into the story and saying, oh, that's this one, and that one's that one. I'm very taxed, but I dislike the neglect on Mother Nature too. Psych, I'll say this, then these two books you may really, really like. You know, you're very different than my brother-in-law. He's very much like, why don't we just have everything automated, that type of thing. But I digress. What I was saying with the emails and the main story, it's kind of similar to how in the modern day X-Men books you see that kind of supplemental material where it's either done great or done poorly, in my opinion. New Mutants does it great. Other series, and I can't think off the top of my head, not so much, where it actually enriches the main story. This is what I would compare that to, hands down. So let me see. San Diego Comic-Con, we'll talk about that a little bit now, and then I'll open up the two boxes I have here. One I know what's in, and the other I don't. So San Diego Comic-Con, again, I know it's Saturday, so we haven't seen the big announcements yet. And it's kind of weird not being able to go to cons. I've kind of looked at it like, look, I know that we're at the point now that we don't go to cons necessarily for comics. You're going there, you're meeting, and you're there are press releases that are mostly about the digital projects, like the animation or the films too. And I was kind of questioning before this, like, do we really need a San Diego Comic-Con? And then, you know what, I've been following a lot of the creators and the artists and the writers and the smaller publishers that I see out there in Comic-Con, and I realized that, yeah, we do, because it shouldn't, the stuff that we unfortunately put a focus on, or I should say that the industry puts a focus on, in my opinion, is not the stuff that they should be. They should be talking about the artists, the writers, and the comics. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I forgot that I had plugged in my iPad. Yeah, I think it's kind of just in general the way I see the industry personally for myself now. Every time I talk to an LCS owner, I feel like Marvel and DC in particular do not have a focus on the stores. You know, their focus is on the bigger project. You know, how many issues can we sell you so you can get this variant? So I mean, my whole take on Comic-Con, I wish I could go just to connect again with the artists and writers. I miss connecting with people. I really do. And my little guy just turned 5 months old, so we're not there yet where we're, going out into big crowds and stuff like that. I have tickets for ZapCon. I'm most likely not going. I've had those tickets for like 2 years. So I'm probably, I'll say this, anybody here in the New Jersey area, if you want my tickets to ZapCon, let me know. I think, I want to say it was like $15 for the pair, and I'll gladly sell them to you for that. I'm not looking to make a profit or anything on it. The two, so far I've only heard really 2 comic book related stories coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. The first, which I think everybody's been talking about, was the upcoming, exactly, madam, that's what I'm doing. The first was that upcoming crossover between Spawn and Batman, and McFarlane's involved. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Psych. I really am. I mean, look, without going too much into it, I'll tell you that, I have 6 brothers and sisters, okay? When we made our announcement the baby's coming, we did it in, I want to say, was it last year this time? I don't even remember. Probably for most everything, and they get the least amount of attention. Yeah. When we announced we were having a kid, I said to all my brothers and sisters, like, look, we're not going into the politics. We're not doing anything like that. But if you're going to want to see your nephew, you're going to have to, get a vaccine. And it was not just for COVID. We're talking, they give you a whole list of things that people should get before they hold a kid, like pertussis, if you haven't had a tetanus shot, a flu shot, that type of thing. and they were all cool. One of my brothers and one of my sisters still didn't get any kind of shots. And I've said, look, unfortunately, you can't see him in an enclosed environment unless you get these shots. And that's just, look, we're trying to protect my son. And that's just kind of how it is. Whooping cough, yeah. But yeah, so I saw the announcement for the Spawn Batman crossover, Frank Miller, Todd McFarlane, and Greg Capullo. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I do remember the original Spawn Batman crossover. I have both parts of that, and I remember that they were both kind of a debacle. I'm hoping that both Todd and Frank kind of learned from that experience. And I remember that one of the parts had to do something with the Lost Island of Roanoke, and I don't remember anything else about that part of the story. And then the other part of it, the one that Frank Miller drew, I remember it ended with Spawn getting a batarang to the face. Too many people. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Trev. I was supposed to have a work event, and I was like, look, I'm not going in. That's just how it is. And work has been very good about that. Yep, and that's where my focus is, keeping the kids safe. But anyway, with Batman and Spawn, I'm cautiously optimistic. I might wait until the first issue comes out or something. It is something I'm interested in saying, but then again, I haven't read Spawn in close to like 20 years. You good, buddy? Yeah, he's playing with his hands, so he's good. The other one I'm kind of excited about, is it Tom King, Tom Taylor on the book? No, they've only announced McFarlane, Capullo, and Frank Miller. I don't know who's doing what. I think it's no secret, and I'm not taking a weird stance by saying that Miller's writing maybe has not been as strong in the last few years as it has been in the past. Maybe he's going to break his streak on that, but we'll find out. The other one I heard about was they're doing another volume of Extreme X-Men with Chris Claremont and Salvatore Larocca reuniting. That I'm excited about. I enjoyed the first volume. And the first volume is something that's still affordable, by the way. You can go into the back issue bins and easily get them for $1. It was, I remember they were kind of touted as a strike force. Hey, buddy. He might have to come out of his chair in a bit. But it was touted as a strike force. They were running around the world collecting the diaries of Destiny. And I remember it was the first time they had introduced a newer mutant. It was a Indian guy by the name of, I think it was like Thunderbird 3. And nobody's really seen him, I think, since then. I could be wrong on that. I should look that up. But yeah, it was one of my favorite series at the time. Again, we're talking, it was like early 2000s. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. They already announced that this one is a 5-part series. It includes most of the same team, except Rogue is not on this one. So I think it's Bishop, Gambit, Sage, Beast. See, so they were kind of going with Sage, especially kind of deep into the roster for that. No Psylocke as well. It's going to be a 5-part series. They did announce what the plot was. I forgot exactly what it was, but they did say it takes place in the past, but it's going to reflect things in the current run. So kind of curious and interested in seeing on that. Yes, Neil, today is the last day to vote for your CBC awards. CBCAs, as I've been saying. So there's a good reminder. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and vote for your favorite YouTube channel. Maybe you like this one. But yeah, I mean, look, that's just kind of my short take on San Diego Comic-Con in the meantime. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to check out the movies. I'm probably going to check out most of the series that they've been announcing. I'm not a big animation guy, but we like Groot in this house. We're going to watch the Groot shorts. The little Moon Girl preview I saw. Where is Rogue going? Rogue is going Rogue. I don't know. I think, is she on the new X-Men roster, the current one? I'm not sure. But X-Men 97 I'm definitely excited for as well. Not so much Spider-Man freshman year. I think I'd have to just kind of see more of it. I know that one's a ways off. I'd have to see more about it before I commit, I guess. But, oh well. Oh, she's not? Okay. Yeah, I don't know where she is right now then, because I know that she was in, oh, she is. I haven't read Hellfire Gala yet, so you might or may not be spoiling something, I guess, but that's okay. So why don't we do this? I'm going to open up those 2 boxes I had. This is going to be part of course, I guess, the comics I picked up this week. This one is from, did I see Thor? I didn't see it yet. I'm waiting for Disney Plus. This one is from Legacy Comics. If you're unfamiliar, I did an interview with Pat Hickey Jr. of Legacy Comics just a couple weeks ago. And we talked about his work, his independent title, Condry, which we gave a digital copy away of the first 5 issues, like issues 0 through 4, last week, which reminds me, I'm actually going to pre-order Sarita for myself today. I forgot about that. But I had picked up a book from Legacy that Pat did not work on. And for those who watch Reggie Collects, which I think is pretty much everybody here, this is, you might be familiar with this book. This is from Steve Conge, and this is Renfield. How short are those Groot shorts? I don't know. They're not out yet. I think it's coming out August 10th, they said. But Renfield, I'm definitely interested in checking this out. I like Conge's artwork. I've also pre-ordered his copy of his cover for Isolation, which I think actually my Isolations are coming today, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. USPS is different. I don't know. They've been weird by me, as you guys know this. But I'm excited this too because I was like big into Dracula. I think it was early in high school or maybe late in middle school. Whenever that Gary Oldman movie came out, and I know that the Gary Oldman one wasn't closest to the novel, but I wound up reading the novel a couple times. So I've always kind of liked Dracula stories. And from what I've heard, I think from Conge and from Pat Hickey Jr., is that this is the only adaptation of Dracula that Bram Stoker's estate has approved. So interested in checking that out. I'll tell you more about that next week. Let's see here. And then this one, this was the other pull I had for this week. I'm going to be honest with you. I was concerned when I got this because I did not remember ordering this. This is a BAM box, BAM Comics. And it turns out that I didn't remember ordering it because I didn't order it. This was actually a birthday present from my mom. So she ordered this in May, and I guess it just came out now. And this is my first thing for BAM box. I don't know what to expect. Have you guys ordered from BAM before? Anybody? Just a hands up. Yeah. Oh, I see Madam and Maine are talking about, do you recommend seeing the theater at home? I used to be a theater guy, but me personally, I think now that the way that home theaters are, I'm kind of more of a, yeah, I'm going to come in and, yeah, just wait for it to come home. Yeah, Psychedelic, you're braver than me. I'm still afraid to go to the movie theaters myself in that respect. But look, I mean, between the different streaming services we've had Disney, Hulu, I've got like a $1 deal for. We borrow somebody's Amazon, and there's probably like 1 or 2 other streaming things in there, like HBO. Pretty much anything that we want to watch, we can watch at home. That's just how it kind of goes. And then every once in a while, we're just kind of splurge. If there's something like, I finally saw No Way Home just last month because we were waiting for it to come on some streaming and was like, all right, it's not coming. We had some sort of a coupon from T-Mobile. Hey, Spine Ticks. So we're like, yeah, let's just bite the bullet and get it from Redbox or something, the streaming Redbox. Yeah, here's the thing, too. I don't have a good sound system, but I have a comfortable couch. And so comfortable in fact that if I'm not careful, if I don't have enough coffee, I will fall asleep in the middle of it. But let's go ahead now and open up that BAM box here. Oh, they are saying that you are holding the ultimate collector's experience. I don't know about that. Let's see. So I cut one side of the tape. This is a weird box. It's like a trifold thing. Okay. Very happy there's no packing peanuts. Is something here? It's a slab. Oh, wow. This is pretty cool. I really like this. And again, this was a surprise from my mom. Thanks, Mom. I did not purchase this, but it's a Master. You'll like this. It's a yellow label, sir. I like this. It's like Christmas. Wow. Okay. Hold on. I got to look at this here first. Nobody likes packing peanuts, especially me. Okay. This is a yellow label. Dan Nakayama. I think I said it right that time. Virgin cover. She-Hulk #2. Very, very, very cool. I'm very happy with that. I mean, yeah, look, it's whatever. It's a modern yellow signature, but yeah, I mean, that's very cool. So what have I got going on for this week? Well, I am going to go to the LCS, hopefully today. I was going to go yesterday because my little guy, he has a helmet, as we showed off last week, and he gets adjusted every Friday. And it happens to be like right near my LCS. But as I've kind of talked about a little bit more on this just a few minutes ago, we're being very careful where we go. And my wife has not been inside of my LCS, and I wouldn't take the kid inside an LCS now. We can't put a mask on him. So when I go, and if my wife is with me, they'll like wait in the car. I keep the car running with the air blasting. But yesterday here in North Jersey, it was just like, I think it was almost 100 degrees. It was pretty hot. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, he's taking to the helmet a lot better than we thought he would. We had a little problem this week because he had some heat rash, so he actually had a couple days without it. But with us, it's without going too much into it. He was born with torticollis. That's like a strength, like your muscles in your neck are kind of like this. So his head was like this, and it's nothing permanent. It was just the way he was in the womb. And so his head was really flat in the back, and so much so to the point where it was affecting his ability to roll over. And we've been going to PT. It started as twice a week since March. We're down to once a week now, but now he's finally at the point where they said, yeah, a helmet could really help him and round out his head. He's only 5 months old, so he's not, the bone isn't fused yet. So this is the perfect time to do it. And like I said, he's adjusting well. I want to decorate his helmet. My wife says no, though, so there you go. That always sounds like a country song. I don't know. Like I could see a song. I had all these plans, but my wife said no. I had an idea to like just reach out to some of my favorite YouTubers, the Blasters, Anachronic, Brian, Matt, Double A, and just get like copies, extra copies of the stickers and everything, and just stick those on his helmet. But yeah, like I said, she said no. But anyway, that's really all I had for you. Like I said, I'm going to go to the LCS. My in-laws are actually coming here tomorrow for dinner, so that means that as soon as he goes down and my wife comes back, we have to do like a mass cleaning and proceeded tomorrow by some cooking. I'm making my chicken cutlets because that's what I make really well. But trying to think, anything else? Yeah, my box of isolation I think is coming this week, or today rather. I could be wrong on that because I know that Reggie had a really kind of packed schedule. Paint it like Boba Fett. That's a good idea. I'll say this. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but with his carriage and everything, I kept saying to my wife, like, it'd be really easy to make him like a Grogu for Halloween. She's like, nope, he's not Grogu. So I don't know. We still got a couple months for that, but maybe we might get there just because he makes Grogu-like sounds too. What would Chad do? I don't want to know what Chad would do. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to the LCS. I think Isolation is coming. Maybe my Unknown Comics will ship. Who knows? But oh, by that cry, it tells me that it's time for me to go. I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of time. Here in the Northeast, it's very hot, but it's still a nice day. So if you can get out and stay cool, go ahead and do so. Looks like a beautiful day, and hydrate, of course, too. But with that said, thanks again. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.